Hello and welcome back to another video. Avalon obviously happened. Avalon Encore, may I add, happened in Warwick, Coventry, and it was a bit of a bloodbath this tournament. I think tends to be a lot more bloodbaths in England specifically. I mean, irregardless of outside talent coming in, I think there are a lot of dedicated people trying to just grind and continuously improve. And people are making upsets. New talent is sort of coming out late meta. They're blooming, and now we're seeing the fruits of their labor. It's not easy playing a game for 7 years and continuously having that drive and eventually succeeding. But a lot of people are showing that the hard work does pay off. And all I really want to do today is just highlight 5 players who did really, really well at Avalon. Not only did they potentially upset seeds, but they got really, really good wins as well. Um, Obviously, if you can just have a look at the bracket, and you can pick loads of people who did really well. Just look at the arrows, and they did really well. Um, Obviously, we expect people like Kerbo and Mondi and Maze Beans to do well, and iPhoenix, because they're good players, and we already know that. So I'm going to highlight 5, not lesser players, but players who had really good runs, but you never know. They're never really going to get the spotlight because obviously everybody's looking at the top. So, yeah, I'm not going to blather on too much. Um, uh, People have let me use footage this time, so with my modern technology, um, I will just talk over some gameplay about what happens. So my first one is Mariah carried. Shout out to Dante. If you are not subscribed to Dante, please subscribe to Dante. Um, it's a shame he's left the community to To, but you know, sub anyway. I have subbed, but this is obviously incognito, so yeah. So Mariah carried. Which I initially thought was Scammy Boy, but it turns out to be Mellow. So they're the 13th seed, 13th ranked on the Wales PR. Really good Min Min. They had quite a good tournament actually. Ranked 113th, and with 113th, you're thinking, okay, might get an upset or two. But no, they managed an impressive 49th in the end, and unfortunately only less than lost to both of the Falcos that came in Skipper and Zasio. So being upset and well being beaten by the 16th and 33rd seed is not entirely the worst thing in the world. And obviously showing that actually you know they can hang and they did really well. They got really good win over Pixie Goblin, who obviously had that fantastic run a little bit earlier in the year. I think at Rise, um, and then Champman, like as you're seeing on the screen, which is two really good wins, and helped boost their performance a little bit. And outside of that, they've been doing quite well within Wales. Obviously, as I said, 13th in Wales makes it you know they can play, they can hang. They've got some really good wins. All the Welsh players that you would expect: Cloaked, Nuvema, um, Zoroya, Samage, Urban Turban, Hadders, Mr. Sneaky, all those sorts of players who hang around Wales, and I'm going to say the Bristol area, um, because people get quite, what is Wales and what is not Wales is when it comes to players is a bit of a hot button topic. But no, obviously you can see doing the really good job, but just zoning Chapman out. Chapman struggling to sort of try and get in with Duck Hunt. Um, but yeah, doing quite well. It's going to be interesting to see what they can come up with next year. Um, Also did quite well at last year's Avalon as well. They got 65th, so an improvement from last year. They went a round further. Um, Ignore the discords. I won't catch that in editing. because I cannot edit. But yes, fantastic result by them, really. And well, we've already got one top min over here. We have also got other good mins, such as Nia, such as Solid Gamer when they choose to bring it out. There are too many mins, so if I haven't said you, please don't feel offended. Shout outs to Scammy Boy. Apparently he has missed quite a lot. But yeah, just sort of really good at controlling the pace of the match. Really good at just making sure that they can get those kills when they need to. But yeah, for that reason, number 5, they are kind of ranked. But yeah, number 5 is going to be Mariah Carey, aka Mello. Go to tag, by the way. We love Mariah Carey. And that will be that. So there we are, number 5. So our second contender, or number 4 on our little list, is none other than the goat of the South, as you saw in my Discord notifications, Mashu. So Mashu is a. This is a bit of not. It's not a bias pick because obviously they did very well, but you know if I'm gonna glaze, as the kids say these days, I'm gonna glaze a player. It's probably gonna be Mashu on this list. But yeah, they have moved to a place in the Midlands. I want to say Lancashire, but I have no idea. My geography knowledge is terrible. So yes, they've moved from Bournemouth, but they're really Bournemouth. I mean, do you ever really leave your chosen place of birth? Not really. But anyway, so they had a really great tournament actually. Made it quite a few rounds further than they were supposed to. Seed 107, and they made it all the way to 49th, same as our Mariah Carey. Amazing tag still, can't get over it. um, but yes, they had an amazing thing, and it's interesting because Diddy is a matchup that Mashu has played quite a lot of versus Serenity, Beaky Bird, Aaron, but has never managed to beat Aaron. But all of that matchup coming in clutch here versus Nathan Bonecrush, and this was just an amazing set. You know, such an amazing win for them. Um, but yes, showing that they really improved actually, and they are a threat because you know Nathan is really obviously very good player. Up in Scotland, probably I don't have it to hand, but I think before they took their little brief hiatus, they were doing really well. Probably easily top 10 Scotland. I don't know where particularly, but yeah, absolutely. But yeah, 107th seed, ended at 49th. Um, Won the Puff Ditto versus Steve Beef. Um, lost to Giggles. You know, PR it is what it is. And then got a good win on Sandwich again, who's very good in the Welsh community, and then obviously had this an amazing upset win on Nathan Bonecrush, and you know I think this is the first. I think this is the best win Mashu's ever gotten, and to have it against the caliber somebody who is as good as Nathan Bonecrush is fantastic. Really, I realised halfway through this that Mashu 1-3-2. So he actually loses this game. So just just use your imagination that it's the Jigglypuff win. Um, and then after that, managed to run into a Divian who put the brakes on him. But generally, such a really good win, and there's a few Jigglypuffs in obviously the UK. You've got Electric, you've got Corvus, Kiwi when they decide to play, Steve Beef, and there's just loads of them. Will Matt this win could put them up for the Best Puff UK, considering James chokes everything. But this would my recommendation for number 4 with an SPR ranking of 2. Coming in at number 3 is Florrie, and I mean everybody knows Florrie. They've been around for quite a while. They've always been improving. I think that's quite evident. When I played them at Den of Dragons last year in December, it was Game 5, and I was sweating quite a little bit. So yeah, the improvement is real to see actually. And, Florry's no stranger to having good results. I think they definitely had a good finish at Invasion last year. I think it was 25th they got. I think they placed a round ahead of me. So yeah, no strangers to good results, Florry. I think consistency is probably the most difficult part for them because the peaks are really high, but sort of the troughs are really low. Um, but generally, once they get going, very talented and very good, and I'm excited to see hopefully in 2026, a new Florry where they absolutely turn it up a gear. So, coming in as the 66th seed, sorry, battled all the way to 25th, and obviously, if you saw it, a heartbreaker set versus Pizza Time, where it was. We've already spoken about it, and there's been a bit of discourse around it. Um, but yeah, incredible run really. Um, Obviously losing round two to the Spanish Samus was a bit of a probably an it's one of those things where your mentor is like, ooh, round two Samus, and you're sweating, but to keep your composure, and then go on to beat Delfino, Cool Kings, which is on the stream, um, Nazza the Corin, from I think Brighton area. That they're sort of a sleeper pick. They might come up a bit in 2026, if they continue to improve and play. And then obviously a huge win over Pig Boy as well, who's had a really good year this year, but is potentially going to have an even better 2026. And then obviously the fall to Pizza Time was unfortunate. Um, but yeah, absolutely. Like 25th, really good use of Rebels Guard at the moment just to keep everything going, um, and maintain that lead. I think once Florry sort of fixes the consistency and starts to do better and keep those peaks high and make the troughs a little bit higher, I think we'll have a really, really solid Joker player. Something that the UK hasn't had in quite a while, I don't think. Not since I think Zeroya sort of stopped. They're on and off at the moment, but Florry's always been there. Don't think I'm thinking of any super super duper obvious jokers. Um, but yeah, Florry. That's my pick for number two. No, number three. Sorry, I can't count. Oh goodness me. It's the old age, guys. Don't get old. But yeah, Florry is my pick for number three. And hopefully we will see where she goes in 2026. And I hope she does very well. I'm looking forward to see if she's attending any other tournaments this year, because that would be really good. And the backer taking it there. So congratulations to Florry for number three. So our number two spot goes to Stargazer, who had an amazing run. Obviously, because they're number two. Had it been more amazing, they'd be number one. But number two, it is. It's a good placement. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, Stargazer has sort of been ramping up this year. They've sort of been doing quite well, at sort of everything they've attended. Just doing that little bit better than people think they would. And it's really, really shown that they've stepped it up to the next level and that they can actually hang with the best people in the country. So yeah, it's amazing to see, because I think at last year when I spoke to them briefly at Avalon, um, yeah, entire year ago. They were kind of doubting themselves. I think that was Sham, because they were Sham, and I keep getting confused between the Sham and the Shenem. I think it was Stargazer that I spoke to, but yeah, but the acquisition of Samus has obviously leveled up their gameplay. And it's really good to see. And it's not exactly like the UK is short or has ever been short on Samuses. Obviously, we've got Nutlord, who's been around forever and a day and is back. Um, and then obviously we had Rambos. Um, so yeah, we I don't think I'm missing any other Samuses. Um, but yeah, incredible results, and really, really good to see them just step up to that next level gameplay. Obviously, as you're watching, they beat Scores, which was an amazing win in themselves, and then they really outdid themselves, and beat Pelly as well the round after. I mean, and two wins of that caliber is just incredible, really. Obviously, Scores has so much experience versus Samus; it's unreal. So to win that matchup against Scores, who's a very very good player, is really really good. And then obviously to beat somebody of Pelly's caliber is also fantastic because it's Pelly. This player won majors in Europe. So yeah, I mean their Samus is just really really solid. I think the neutral that they have is very much what carries them. They're very patient and very crafty in how they get their neutral wins. They don't just rely on charge shot all the time. They mix in aerials. They mix in mix ups like the down airs that we've been seeing to try and kill. And their general patience is something that's working for them. And that they were only seeded 45th, which is quite high to begin with, and rightly so. They've been, like I said, doing really well at every tournament this year that they've been to, just sort of making sure that they go 2 rounds beyond. Um, and yeah, I mean the pair of losses that they did get was NATO you and Neros. I mean you lost to probably one of the best top 10 players in Europe, and then top 50, 42, 42nd player. And I saw them in the Discord, and they're like, they know the matchup too well, and it's like, unfortunately, with Samus against like international players, yes, they will know because France has a ton of Samuses. There are more Samus players in France that you can actually just shake a stick at. Um, they are very much a common character, and Samus is a very common character in Europe itself. I think when the stats came out, I think we're showing the most the most used characters in each continent. Samus was like number one in Europe. You've got Siski, obviously, our top represented. Struggling to think of the one who I was thinking of. They co-main Joker as well. They're from France. Obviously, you've got Quick, who the NATO you and Thingy have played loads. So yeah, really really good result. And just generally solid gameplay. Um, really made sure that they deserve their spot at number 2, and I cannot wait until 2026 to see if they can carry on. And there's no doubt in my mind that if they continued this, they could easily make PR in 2026 if they get this up. So yeah, good stuff to them, and I hope to see them in 2026 somewhere. And that brings me to my number 1 spot. Now, I'm really sorry, Laurie. I just could not find any footage of you playing. I don't know if everything happened off stream, but I've got to work with what I've got. Um, but yeah, Laurie, what an amazing run from them. Coming into this, as the 131st seed, you've got your work cut out for you, to get anywhere, to do anywhere as well as you did, really, and one of top 32 as well. I mean that's an amazing run, really. Um, so yeah, I mean losing your first round is rough, obviously. Um, Plant is not a very common matchup. Um, so yeah, and just making sure that you've got that fortitude as well. I mean, if I was Laurie and I've lost my first round and I see Apple as my second round, and Apple's really good versus heavies and Shotos. Um, every time I used to switch on a front runners or a meltdown, it would be Apple versus Michael Jackson, Darkstalker, or Apple versus Arch Nemesis, and it would be game five, and they'd be doing super well. Um, and yeah, they to win that against Apple, who's really good into those FGCs, is nothing short of amazing. Um, and making sure that round two as well, you lost one, you go straight to Apple and you win. Huge confidence boost and really rock solid mental as well. And then going on to beat Ewan the best. Again, a really really good win from them. Just really, really good stuff, consistency, and then winning the Ditto. I do not even want to know what the Kazuya Ditto looks like. Can't imagine what it looks like. I don't want to imagine what it looks like. But beating TF again, who did really well themselves, got around further than they should have. And TF is quite solid. I've played TF. They definitely know what they're doing, and they can definitely hit their stuff. So to do that in a Ditto, fantastic stuff. And then obviously beating Virtue again, Ice Climbers. That's not a matchup you see every day. I don't know what to do against Ice Climbers, but then again, I just have I kind of just dunk on them with a 6 foot whip. But Virtue, does very very well at the Wolves local. Winning against Shonik and Vespertine, that's quite a solid resume. Um, as an Ices main. So to beat that as well against a character you've probably never played against before, against a player who's very good with that character, probably very very good win. And you can see the upset factors here: 4-1-1-2. Just an amazing really run for them, and 33rd only to be stopped by Grisius. Um, I mean that's kind of rough. Greg's quite good into those FGCs. He's very good at sort of punishing mistakes. Um, but yeah, absolutely. And I don't really have anything much more to say. I wish I had some footage in the background, and again, I do apologize. But yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much for watching. Congratulations to Laurie for air quotes winning. I don't know what you won. Um, well done. You won. Got gold medal. Please go and subscribe to all of these people. Please subscribe to Dante. Please subscribe to DAT Team. Please subscribe to whoever this is, the NintendoWarwickSociety, because obviously I'm using all of their stuff. Hello ads in 2025. No. So yes, please make sure you subscribe to all of these because I wouldn't have had a video otherwise. I am going to be doing a top ranking 50 of the UK as I see it. Ewan asked me to do it, and I said okay, so I'm stuck doing it now. So look out for that coming in small parts over the next month or so. I'll get that before Christmas, because I'm not doing it over Christmas. But yeah, thank you for letting blather on. If anybody wants to edit anything for free or create some stuff, let me know. Because you have unfortunately picked Boomer to do all of this. But yes, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. And have a nice day /evening /night, morning, whatever. Bye.